Brother, it's been a while.
I know it's been a minute. Still look young though.
Come on, man. Look at this.
Hey, listen, I didn't get the top didn't go for me yet, but the beard
Hey,
is definitely
Fat
it's
Joe,
in there
aka
somewhere.
Skinny Joe, at the last show was giving me a hard time. He's like, your lady's gonna want you to dye that shit. I'm like, my lady tells me she likes it.
Then you need to keep it then.
Talk to me, Mims. What have you been up to?
Ah man, I mean it's been a while, but I mean honestly, whenever someone meets me now, because I've been through a lot. I've been through a lot of different hats. I've worn a lot of different hats on the music side, from music to entrepreneurship. But the biggest job for me right now is being a father. So
Yeah.
during the pandemic, like 2020, I had my first child, and that just changed my perspective on almost everything. So like since then, I just kind of been more on, before it was about chasing dreams and, chasing money and chasing other things, other vices. And then when he came into the world, I just had to kind of pause for a second and say, man, this is what it's all about. This is like a beautiful thing. So I'm a father first. Music is kind of like uh been always a blessing to me because I've been able to travel
Yeah.
around the world and perform in so many dope places. And now that like I'm like 2 years shy of like the 20-year anniversary of the release of This Is Why I'm Hot. And when I hit 20 years and I'm still going on the road, and I'm like, man, this is amazing for like this record to have been able to take me around the world a couple times, and see so many different things. That in itself is a blessing.
Well, there's few things in there. One, fatherhood definitely changes you. It kind of changes your definition of wealth.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I have a quote that I used from Bob Marley when he was being interviewed and someone said, "Do you have a lot of money in the bank?" And his response was, um, "What kind of wealth are you talking about?" He said, I don't care for that type of wealth. Basically, my wealth is life forever." And I think that that's like says a lot for when I mentor other artists in the game, people ask me my opinion on life, and I say, hey man, money is great. It's a great tool, it's an asset, but there's a lot of things that money can't buy, and there's a lot of things that don't come, just because you have money, it doesn't come from it. So I'd like to say I'm in a good place mentally, emotionally, and just spiritually, and everywhere, every aspect of my life is in a great place, in a wealthy place, away from just the money.
You've relocated. Was there a reason? Did you just need a new backdrop, a new start? What was it?
You know what? Much like the song in the beginning verse, obviously I talk about being from New York, and then I talk about the dirty South. I talk about the Midwest. I talk about the West Coast.
Yeah.
I've been a person that's traveled a lot, and I've always respected different cultures everywhere I go. So me just adjusting to one area, I love the fact that I'm from New York, but honestly, like I can live anywhere. You could put me in Alaska and I'll be happy because I could find culture in these places. I could live in New Mexico and Albuquerque. So I don't know. For me, I'm in the South now. I'm in Florida. I obviously still have a place in New York, so I go back and forth. But I mean, it doesn't matter. Put me anywhere on this earth, and I'm gonna fit in.
Is that I've talked to Nick Cannon. We had a big conversation about that. Is that the way young Mims would have thought, or is that age and experience that kind of made you look at it through that light?
I think it's the ability to know to count the blessings, right? People always say, yeah, count your blessings, but like I know there's so many people where I came from that never got out from where I came from. I know there's so many people that are still, hey, that have never been outside the city limits, let alone the state, let alone the country and the world. So um respectfully, I think like once you start to learn that there's different cultures everywhere, your mindset changes. So if you ask the question of whether or not it was young Mims, I would have never done a record like This Is Why I'm Hot had I not been able to travel and see the world and accept the culture.
Ah,
So I think Young Mims is definitely a major influence as to why I can live anywhere and adapt to any environment as long as it's a positive one, right? That's the goal. Like wherever I go, I just want positivity around me. So no, I could live anywhere. And anybody that's like on the fence about like moving somewhere different and getting outside their comfort
do it.
zone, challenge yourself to do it. Absolutely. Because, um, I think it's an amazing thing. You may not like it. And if you don't like it, guess what? You can pick up and go somewhere else.
Yeah. Malice had a quote. They did an interview with Complex Magazine, and he said this. He said, I think hip hop has kind of jinxed itself into thinking there's such a thing as too old and that it should never be accepted. Either you got talent or you don't. You could be old or you could be young.
Mm.
Agreed?
1,000,000%. I think, you know, one of the things about hip hop culture, the people got to remember, I mean, I think we just celebrated 50 years last year, if I'm not mistaken. And it's only been around for 50 years. So there's no person who's survived. I mean, now we're starting to see our icons get into their 60s, right? Some maybe even into their 70s. But back then, people would say, "Oh, it's not cool to be a rapper at a certain age." But I think it's no different than rock and roll. I think it's no different than country music. I think that we have come to a point where it's been generational. So the sound has definitely transitioned from generation to generation, even from its origins in the 70s to where it was in the 80s and the 90s, and then obviously the early 2000s, and then where it's at now. So, I mean, I think there's been a multitude of generations that have enjoyed hip hop. But one thing that I realize is that you could throw on a Ludacris record from 2003, and that record will be just as iconic as it was then to someone of today's generation.
For
So
sure.
I think that's where hip hop, that's why hip hop has basically been such a huge genre of music for so many years, and it's just starting to get its flowers. So yeah, there's no age limit on it. Um, here's my caveat to that though, right? Not to stir the pot, I would say. The one thing that I appreciate though, when we start to see some of the older musicians doing music, is that they're doing it based on where they are in life right now and
Yep.
not where they were in life back then, right? And I think that I find beauty in that. That doesn't mean that you can't still be talking about parties at the age of 60, but if you 60 and you a grandpa and that's where your life is now, I want to hear that in the music too, because I feel like that gives me a certain understanding of where my life will go, when I get to that age. So yeah, I mean, no, I'm there's no age limit on this at all. If you want to, you could do this forever.
I agree with you 100%. If I had to ask you, I got two older kids, Isaiah 17, Anthony, my oldest is 24. If I said Mims wants you to listen to this album to understand hip hop, what album would you have me have them listen to?
In total, if I'm trying to get an introduction from the younger audience, I'm gonna go old Kanye. I'm gonna say College Dropout.
Hey,
I'm not saying that's my ultimate top album of all time, but I think as a listener, if you're just getting introduced to hip hop, that music kind of has an appeal to almost everybody. So I think I would say College Dropout.
okay, they know it well. I when they were younger, I
Yeah,
would always have them listen to albums, whether it was Ice Cube's America's Most Wanted, Good Kid, Mad City, um, Biggie albums,
yeah,
Illmatic, which you were in New York during that time.
yep, yep,
That's a classic
yeah.
album.
It's funny. I just did the halftime show at the Big Three game, and obviously Big Three is Ice Cube's league that he started, basketball league. So, and last year, honestly, I met DJ Yella. So like, it's crazy because as a New Yorker, I was more influenced by West Coast music than I was by East Coast music. Not to say, I mean, obviously, Biggie, Jay-Z, Nas, the icons, but like Snoop Dogg, Ice Cube, Dr. Dre. I mean, I could go far as
Full
back as
40,
saying
too short.
Domino.
Yeah.
yeah, Too Short, E40. Um, so I mean, no, I think if you really embrace music and you want to learn, and I'm gonna use that word a lot, culture. When you want to learn about different cultures, you could easily do so by just popping in some of these icons. I mean, let's talk about Outkast for what they did with the South,
Yeah.
and so iconic musicians like that. Yeah, I mean, no, there's no limitation.
Mibs is on the plane, AirPods in. What are we listening to nowadays, Mims?
If I'm listening to anything on the plane, normally it's Bob Marley's greatest hits. And the reason why I say that is because it's almost like the calm before the storm. I mean, there's something about Bob's music that just kind of relaxes me. And in today's world where there's a lot of chaos going on, I think that sometimes often I like to feel that relaxing side of music. I will say that I just listened to the Clips album. So I have that in rotation right now. I listened to Wayne's project that Lil Wayne just put out. So
Yeah.
that's in rotation as well. Um, Man, I mean, and I'm still with the nostalgia music. I'm still with my 2000s playlist. So like, I mean, early 2000s, late 90s, early 2000s, like your DMXs, your Biggies, your Nas, your Cash Moneys back then. I don't know. I feel like as a musician, I can't remember the last time I listened to my own music, but I'm like genre agnostic, meaning I listen to everything. Like there's
Yeah.
nothing that you can put on that I just won't say, hey, let me pay attention to that, you know?
See, when I'm in the plane, it's weird. I'm in a Stevie Wonder phase right now.
Stevie's dope. I
And
did Barry White a couple flights ago, but Stevie, yeah.
and it's moved from Stevie Wonder, and it's weird where some of these streaming companies take you. It went from Stevie Wonder to Anita Baker to yacht rock radio, and now I'm full on Michael McDonald.
Nice. Is
Yeah,
that I don't want is that like your algorithm is just telling you, hey, you're gonna like this music, so check it out.
yeah. See, and you
That's
dabbled
dope.
in tech, so you could kind of understand all that stuff, I'm guessing.
Yep, that was my second passion after music.